What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As promised in the previous video, we are here at Hoffman EV. We're going to do a tour of this facility. It's incredible. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Let's get started. All right, guys, so we are here with Carlos Tucker from Hoffman EV, and he's going to show us around. We've got a couple questions we're going to ask him from the last video that he's going to answer, and again, just show us around their shop. This place is massive. Carlos, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you again, Joe.
Yeah, likewise.
So this is just the EV section. Of course, we're in a full factory here, which is what allows us to custom make a lot of our parts that we utilize in the car. So we'll kind of start here, and this is where a lot of the work happens. A lot of the fabrication happens out there. But right now, this is one of our current projects. This is our test mule, Bentley Brooklands. It's a 1994, and this is our Mark III build on this one. So we've had two other iterations of conversions on this vehicle before. It originally had a 6 3/4 liter V8, which was massive under the hood. And we pulled that out, and it was a very, very robust power plant. It didn't put out a lot of horsepower though. And a lot of these cars, Bentleys and Rolls Royces alike on the SZ platform, like this one, after a certain age, they end up sitting in a corner because the maintenance becomes so expensive on these that a lot of times you spend so much over the lifetime of the vehicle, you might as well just go buy a new Bentley instead. But they're still beautiful. They still ride amazingly well. It's still a great, wonderful, luxurious car. We want to keep them back out on the road, and we want them there where they can be enjoyed and driven instead of rotting away in the corner of a garage because they're too expensive to maintain. So
of course, that's
where we come in with the conversions on it. This one, we're running a Tesla Model S drivetrain on it, well, specifically the drive unit. It's the big motor. It's the one with ludicrous speed.
Oh, wow.
So right now in its configuration, well, except that it has no batteries, it was pushing about 600 horsepower from the rear wheels. And we had about 85 kilowatt hours of battery in it. For the Mark III build, we're going to we'll say a more energy dense battery type. This will be an NMC battery, just like we have in our DeLorean. And that's going to be about 81.7 kilowatt hours of battery when it goes in, but it's still going to give us excellent range. We're estimating up toward around 300 miles of range.
Wow.
On it, but still plenty of power at the rear wheels, and we're really going to make it a car that can be used every day, a daily driver that you can really
Very
enjoy
cool.
and worry about minimal amounts of maintenance on it. So
Very
it's
cool.
been a really fun project. We've had it torn apart for about a week and a half now.
Nice.
And we've already built the new battery box, which is right here.
Look at that. That thing is huge.
Yeah, we think as you're building things like this that you know, we're doing it with a vintage car. We're doing it with something that's beautiful, that's desirable to keep around. So we want to make it beautiful as well. So, you know, we try and put nice lines in, some angles to make it interesting. This one specifically is going to hide a lot of the cables. So cables and plumbing will run in through the back sides of it, and then will be removable. So all of our plugs will go in here so that you don't see a lot of unsightly plugs and things sticking out and kind of fouling up the appearance of it. We want it to be aesthetically beautiful, as gorgeous as the car is.
That's right.
So
this thing looks extremely clean, very simplistic looking.
Yeah, we want to keep it. Subtle, but let's call it subtle elegance is a nice way to put it. So
I like that.
We're really choosy about what colors we use and make sure that it's a beautiful product in the end.
Very cool.
We'll get around to putting some badges on it, some Hoffman EV badges. We make those badges in-house. For example, the electric badges here, we made those kind of modeling them right after the original Bentley badges that were on there.
Very cool.
Yeah, we made those in-house just to make sure that as you're looking at the vehicle, it looks very original, looks very stock.
It does.
Until you hit the gas pedal, right? Or the go pedal in this case. But if you look closely, you see a couple little hints that we like to throw those Easter eggs in there that say electric, for example.
Very cool. Yeah, this thing's extremely clean, guys. Take a look at this. Do a quick walk around for you guys. Got another electric badge right there.
Mm-hmm. We made this one here, Penguin. That was our first guess at a company name for us. We were like,
okay.
let's call ourselves Penguin EV. But after we went to a couple of cars and coffee with this, people were like, why Penguin? And we're like, okay, we got to come up with something else. So Jeff Hoffman is the owner, and he's the founder of Hoffman EV. So we went with Hoffman EV. It's a strong name, it's a solid name, and it's easy to remember.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you say it, people don't go, well, why Hoffman? The way they do, why Penguin?
Exactly.
So,
but
yeah.
very
So
cool.
That's our Penguin car. But we're just calling it the Hoffman Bentley now. And
Cool.
it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to get this one wrapped up. I've also pulled the dash out. So I've got dash parts over on the table over there. I've got the wood dash parts here. Originally, this was a really beautiful kind of lacquered walnut that was in the vehicle. We went ahead and changed it out. We've got master carpenters in the building here as part of the factory. So we had them make mahogany
Very nice.
dash. And then we followed through with doing all the door or window sills rather throughout the vehicle in the same mahogany to give it a really nice look. Obviously the dash is torn apart right now, but on the window sills, that's the mahogany, and the black, the flat black on top is actually a really, really dark stain. So when the light hits it just right, you can get a little bit of wood grain underneath. It reveals in the sunlight, which is really just a beautiful thing.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
we're
cool.
very into paying attention to all the minute details.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, all right.
Excited to see this thing out on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It will shred tires.
I'm
We do
sure.
have videos of it doing a burnout
No
behind the
way.
building on our website. Oh yeah, this is our CCS charger that I just put in. I've been working on that a little bit last week. We have CCS chargers in them right now. We're going to be moving to NACS chargers at some point in time.
Okay.
We just haven't tested them yet. We've got one. We're ready to test it. And we'll take it over to our test bench when we do that. So
Nice.
I'll show you that really quick.
Let's check it out.
When we're putting a whole kit together to convert a vehicle, we found ourselves in the early stages of research and development, like putting things in and going, this doesn't really quite work, pulling it back out, putting another one in, and it was just cumbersome, and it was really slowing down our production time. So we built a whole test bench.
Look at this.
And this allows us to basically test everything. We can check with the motor mounts in the bottom. We've got pedals if we're using a Model S motor or a Model 3 motor. So we can hit our gas pedals
Very
down
cool.
here, or excuse me, our accelerator pedals. Down here, we've got all of our gauges set up. We can go ahead and we can test to make sure that it's functioning in park, reverse, neutral, and drive.
That's amazing.
So
Look
we
at
do
that.
everything. We run the chargers, the battery management systems. Everything gets run on the test bench before it goes into the vehicle. That way there's no surprises. We know everything is going to be fully functional and work together before it ends up going in, and then we don't have to take it back out, try it back in again. And it
Very
really
cool.
saves us a lot of time.
Very cool.
So I'll take you outside. We've got additional drive units up on the rack here, additional batteries. There's an upcoming DeLorean build, so we've already got the batteries for it and the drive unit for
very
it.
cool.
Ready to go. Additional storage of batteries up top here. Some drive units, and then we reserve a back aisle in the factory for more of our stuff, but we'll get to that in a little while. We really live and breathe electric vehicles here and classic vehicles. So, you know, it's really who we are. So
Whoa, look
know,
at that.
we're into this. It's
That's awesome.
It's more than just a job. It's more than just a passion. You know, it's how we live our life.
Very cool.
This is our original Tesla Roadster. And I mean, call us hipsters of the EV world, but we have an original Tesla Roadster charging unit on the wall that we use specifically
Very
for
cool.
this vehicle
Very
instead of
nice.
a modern one.
You don't see these every day. Very cool.
And it runs and drives great.
Look at the carbon fiber on this.
Yeah, so this is the sport version, so it comes with all the extra carbon fiber trim.
Very nice.
That one's a Think City. They have these all over Scandinavia. There was a partnership with Ford to kind of stand it up and design it. So there's a lot of like Ford Focus parts on the interior.
Oh, interesting.
They actually had a factory in Indiana. They produced a number of these. They just didn't take off because of the price point that they were at when they started them. But we like to collect vintage pieces of electric history as well.
Very cool. Let's do a quick
that's one
walk
of them.
around on this.
That's a riot to drive. It's fun. It's like a little roller skater or a clown car, and it's quick.
Oh, is it?
Sporty. I would love to have like 3 more of these so we could race against each other.
Little go-karts.
The DeLorean you've seen
Look at this
from
thing.
your first video when we met.
Very cool. This
And
is
I
the
did
exact car?
This is the exact car.
Oh, nice. Very
This
cool.
is the same one with the battery box in the front, the rear.
Nice.
The the Tesla Model 3 performance motor in it. And I did actually watch your video. I had to. I had to make sure that I didn't look too bad. But I noticed that there was a question about the flux capacitor, and I mean, I drive a DeLorean daily, and I always hear the flux capacitor question. So Joe, we put that in there just for your viewers.
That's awesome. Very cool. There you go.
1970 Land Rover Series 2A.
Wow, look at this.
This
With the snowplow.
This one has been through 3 conversions. It is running a Tesla Model 3 performance motor in it.
Whoa.
All-wheel drive. We turned it sideways. We put it where the transmission tunnel was. We built a massive box.
Whoa.
You'll have to excuse the dirt and the dust because we actually use this one. This is our plow vehicle for the company.
Very
So,
cool. Yeah, look at this thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we get this out, we work it. We've taken it off-road. We have videos on our YouTube page of this vehicle off-road. It is amazing off-road. Having all the torque on demand, like ready to go.
Very cool.
It does so well. And again, just keeping with the prestige and just the nostalgia of these vehicles, we do everything right. So
Yeah.
on the interior, we made sure that, you know, these were originally just kind of farm trucks. In 1970, they were still building these in sheds.
Wow.
Like really. So we classed it up a little bit with a few little touches here and there of some
beautiful.
interior panels, some dressed up gauges. So it's a little fancier, a little nicer than original, but it's definitely done tastefully, I think.
Very nice. Yeah, I love the color of this leather. Super nice.
Thanks.
Very cool.
So I'll show you how it all happens. Basically, if let's say we're doing a drive unit install and we want the motor to stand a little bit higher, a little farther forward, anything like that after we've made the motor mounts, well, because we're in a factory, we have the ability to just kind of draw that up. I can hand it off to our engineer, Dan, who sits in the corner of the EV department there. And in about an hour and a half, it goes through the whole process and then comes out of powder coat and lands on my desk for us to go ahead and install those and move our motor how we wanted to. So basically from the engineering desk, it goes over to our laser cutter, and I'll show you that.
Look at this place, guys. Guys, by the way, this place is enormous. I don't know if this video is doing it justice, but take a quick look at this. Absolutely incredible. This place is massive.
So all of our flat sheet metal is here. Aluminum, steel of varying gauges, depending on whatever it is that we need. It comes off, it goes on here, and this is kind of a conveyor system. It'll open up into the laser cutter and it slides itself right in there. And then the laser CNC goes through and cuts out whatever it is that we want. You can see here's some of the negatives from These are some of the negatives from some other cutting that's already taken place. And then the parts come out and they go over here to our brake press and they get bent. So for example, this is part of a battery box that we're making for a DeLorean that's going to be showing up soon.
Oh, very
the
cool.
one that I said that we were prepping for. So you can see that it's been freshly cut, and then this is the fresh bending on it.
Very cool.
And then other parts to it here, which will also get bent and eventually get all put together and made into the battery box. But once they're bent, they go over to our welders, and where these big curtains are, we have 4 welding stations here with 5 on-staff welders.
Oh, wow.
So they weld aluminum, steel, whatever it is that we need, can all get welded here.
Check this out.
We also have a laser welder. We use that on occasion. Sometimes it's old school, sometimes it's MIG, TIG, but we've got all the capabilities with the professionals. After the items get welded, they come over here to our grinding booth and it gets prettied up. You know, we can make all of our welds look nice and smooth where we want to, and make sure that the metal's fully prepped and ready to go into powder coating. So we've got an I-beam set up here, a track system that our gentleman here from the metal department will make sure everything looks perfect, that the metal's totally clean. They'll hang it on the track and they'll send it down the track and around the corner, and it goes through the doors at the end.
Oh, cool.
And into our powder coat booth, which is actually this whole room. So we've got all of the powder coating colors that are on the wall here. All these boxes are all of our different in-house powder coat colors that are available, and textures. And they all get blown out of the machinery here. This is where the actual powder coating happens, right over here. And then once they've got a good powder coat on them and they're ready to be baked, it goes right down the track, out this door. There we go. And into the oven there for the powder coat to get baked on.
Very cool.
It's a big oven. I haven't tried, but I've been told it's not worth trying pizzas in there. They don't come out tasting so good. I've heard.
Well, it's incredible.
But it's massive. We can do some really, really big parts in here.
Very nice.
Comes out of powder coat, comes to here for quality control inspection, and they'll make sure everything looks good. If it doesn't, they'll send it back around.
Oh, very nice.
And clean it up, repowder coat it, and bring it back out. We've got a special lighting system overhead here. We've got the fans to help cool the stuff off after it comes out of the massive oven. And then if it's all good, it goes right back to the EV department where we can put it to use immediately.
Nice, very cool. I like this track system here.
It's really great. It makes things function really efficiently.
Oh, sure.
We like having things set up in a manner that is a step-by-step, like really kind of simple process. It helps out with workflow, and from kind of beginning to end of project, it substantially assists us in getting things done, like when we need it, as quickly as we can.
Yeah, it looks very efficient here, so very cool.
So over in the back of the building, we have our paint booth. This is kind of amongst our Fortress display area, which they're high security display systems. That's part of what the factory builds here, which is kind of the bigger part of the building is our factory, and then Hoffman EV, we're the corner of Hoffman Manufacturing, which is the big building. But this is our paint booth that we have. We use this for all kinds of stuff, but I have actually had an entire Volkswagen in here.
This is huge.
Yeah, we can fit the whole vehicle in here, no matter what it is.
Very cool.
That we're doing anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some that won't fit, but yeah, we've got the whole facility here to do whatever it is that we need. I'll actually be doing some soundproofing for the underside of the hood for the Bentley.
Oh, that's very cool.
With some of this next week.
Nice.
Yeah, in order to fit that massive battery box under the hood of the Bentley, we had very minimal clearance, so I had to take up the insulation blanket from the underside of the hood. So I'm going to spray some lizard skin on it just to reduce vibration.
Very cool.
But the good news is that the battery box is going to fit and the hood is going to close. So that's good. Let's go on back. I'm going to show you some unique stuff.
Let's check it out.
This is the carpentry section. So we have 4 master carpenters on staff here three master carpenters on staff right in this immediate area. So a lot of the woodwork that you saw in the Bentley, that was done right here. She was done by a gentleman named Tripper right over at that work area there. So it's really nice having that in-house as well when we're working on Rolls Royces, Bentleys. If we have something specific that we need to take care of, we've got the ability to do so. All right, follow me. So the very last aisle here in Hoffman Manufacturing, a lot of this is dedicated to Hoffman EV. So we've got old engines and drivetrains that we've pulled out of vehicles. There's an old VW, there's the old Land Rover Series 2A engine and transmission there. We keep our summer tires back here. Notice these though. These are wood mock-ups of battery boxes and Tesla drive units. So when we're going to test fit a Tesla drive unit for the first time and trying to figure out how it's going to fit, how we're going to make it fit, they're heavy. So we make these wood mock-ups in the wood CNC machine.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that we can then, with a much lighter weight representation of it, see exactly how we're going to make it fit, and then we can mock up our different motor mounts and things, make sure they work with this unit before we go ahead and do a final install of the actual drive unit.
Very cool. Yeah, look at that, guys.
And the same with battery boxes. We'll build them in the same proportions, and then we don't have to like lift the heavy steel or the heavy aluminum
very smart.
out of it. There's a Model S drive unit.
It's incredible how small these are, actually.
Yeah, and that's the big motor. So there are smaller ones, but the Model 3 performance motors are quite a bit smaller than that one. But yeah, it allows us to really make use of a lot of space. It's pretty helpful in building a really efficient package, being able to fit in more batteries.
What is this thing?
These are some vintage electric vehicles here. This one's called the commuter car. At one point in time, late 70s, early 80s, they were making these as just little commuter electric vehicles. And there was a point in time where these were actually the fourth largest automobile producer in the US.
No way.
Because there were only the big three, and then these guys, they were making a couple thousand a year, I think.
Wow.
But yeah, we like to keep around vintage pieces as well. And at some point in time, when we get bigger as a company, and I have a little bit more time, I'd like to resto mod these and put some modern electric drive trains in them.
That would be cool to see.
Up top is pretty cool. They made those in Mankato, Minnesota. I think it's called the HMV Freeway. But it's a three-wheeler. And that was a big deal because then they don't have to adhere to as many DOT rules because it's technically considered a motorcycle. But yeah, that one was a full electric car as well.
Very cool. Yeah, look at this.
I've got some other unique stuff over here.
Yeah, I see a couple things in the corner over there.
This one's a little more modern. It's an ultra efficient all-electric car called the Myers Motors NMG, which stands for No More Gas.
Oh, man.
It's a single-seater. It has 14 batteries in it, just car batteries in it that are rechargeable. Both windows roll down so that you can go through the drive-thru, but it only has one door on the safe entry and exit side of the vehicle. But it's great for commuting back and forth to work, and if you need to stop by the grocery store, it's got enough room for about 2 grocery bags under the boot here.
Let's see it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's actually bigger than I thought.
Yeah, you can actually fit quite a bit back here. It's charging cable. This is the inner fender. Well, I need to put that back in the liner. But yeah, like I said, we live and breathe electric vehicles here. We love the history of it, and we like historical vehicles as well that have been gas powered that we can convert over to electric and kind of keep them on the road and make sure that people can keep enjoying them. This one's just for fun. This is an electric motorcycle.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a pretty affordable one, and we took this out to the quarter-mile track when we took our electric DeLorean to run it and ran it against the DeLorean. It didn't do great.
That looks incredible, though.
It's fun. It is a blast to ride this because it goes highway speeds. It feels very stable and comfortable, but it's dead silent.
Well, that's got to be weird.
And it's really, really fun to ride and quickly along with no pedaling like a bike.
Yeah.
And for it to feel substantial and have the acceleration and deceleration ability, but be so quiet.
Very cool.
It really is a nice experience.
All right, so Carlos, huge thank you for that shop tour. That was incredible. Not what I was expecting at all. I was super blown away, so thank you for that. Couple of questions that we had from the last video. I want to make sure we got those answered in this video. So what is the 0 to 60 time on the DeLorean?
Oh, our DeLorean is 4.23 seconds 0 to 60. We ran it multiple times, and then it's just over 12 seconds in the quarter mile.
Wow.
And it's actually, I believe in your last video, I said it's like 60 to 65 kilowatt hours. We're actually at 55 kilowatt hours of battery on it. So it's a little bit less, but it still gets that performance, and it tops out at about 230 miles of range.
Nice.
Which is really good. We're pretty proud of that.
That's incredible.
And we like kind of designing things to get that that critical cross section of where you're maximizing performance and range and not going too much overweight to the point, if we added more batteries, that weight would start to reduce the range and the performance overall. So we think we found like pretty much the perfect balance of how much energy, how many batteries we have to put how much energy in to get the performance and the range that we've achieved there. Like, we're very, very happy with where it's at.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so what is the cost to build something like that? Or if somebody wants more information, where can they go to find that?
Sure. So our DeLorean conversions, actually, the sales portion of that is handled by DeLorean Midwest. So if you are interested in a DeLorean conversion or a turnkey DeLorean, you can contact Mike at DeLorean Midwest, and then he's got the full inventory of DeLoreans there, or he will take your DeLorean, send it up to us, we do the conversion and send it back to him. It just makes things a little bit easier as we're like launching as a business, and we're very, we don't have a lot of manpower here.
Very cool.
In the EV department. So he handles our sales portion for that. But if you have a Bentley or a Rolls Royce that you want done, you deal directly through us.
Nice.
And that's about 90 to 100,000 for a Bentley Rolls Royce conversion.
Nice.
Although we're a little bit flexible based on like how much battery power range you want, how much performance you want, or if you want a big Tesla S-Drive unit or a smaller one. So there's some flexibility in those prices.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that. And what was the most challenging part of the build for the DeLorean?
Oh my gosh. I would say motor position, honestly, the drive unit position. The way that the drive unit is designed, when you go to install it, it kind of sits slightly off center by about 1.5 inches. So making it fit to be totally centered left to right in between the rear wheels, so that you get a straight shot of your drive axles directly to the wheels. It took some very unique engineering that we were able to overcome, but it was challenging to get that to fit right in place. That and just space, fitting the batteries in places that didn't encroach on areas that we wanted to have usable space, like creating a trunk, for example.
Yeah.
We wanted to make everything as low profile, as inobtrusive as possible, and give that addition of a trunk, as well as keep every other area of space to be totally original on the vehicle.
Very cool.